What is up, everybody, and welcome to Sodium Jim's guide to the Shaman variation of Nightwolf. In this guide we'll be going over his normals, his strings, his special moves, some example combos, and his general game plan for what you need to do during a match. Nightwolf's best normals and strings in this variation are forward 2, which is a slow overhead but can lead to mix-ups and damage if you get a confirm, forward 1-2, which is an advancing mid that you can use to whiff punish or punish unsafe special moves. It doesn't lead to big damage, but cancelling into Lightning Arrow does give you a knockdown. Finally, 1-1-1 is Nightwolf's main confirm string, his fastest punish starter, and an amazing auto shimmy. These three strings are Nightwolf's main tools which will be used in the Shaman variation. Originally, I wrote this variation off as you lose Rhino Charge, which is one of the best reversals in the game, and the Rising Tomahawk of Matoka variation, which is one of the main sources of Nightwolf's combo damage. However, with a bit more experimentation, it appears that this variation of Nightwolf isn't as bad as I initially thought. Lightning Arrow replaces your normal arrow move from the other two variations. Whilst you can't amplify it like you can the other variations, Lightning Arrow not only is the most damaging projectile Nightwolf has, but it's also a mid. This means that your opponents cannot duck it. It also provides a knockdown on hit, which means it is amazing if you want to knock the opponent down and continue more pressure. And it is also really good in trading situations with other projectile characters, as it does more damage and every trade gives you a knockdown, which means that you can pressure with arrows more than they can with their projectile. Also, you can hold it down if you think they're going to press a button or jump over it, and you can cancel it if you think they are too close or you're likely to get punished. His other special move in this variation is Spirit Tracks. Originally, this seemed like a bit of an awkward move, as it doesn't combo from his maximum damage combo starter, which is 1-1-1, and it replaces Rhino Charge, which is, as we've said, one of the best reversals in the game. However, on closer inspection, it is quite a powerful move when used at the right time. As a low, it goes underneath all high projectiles, and even though it is slower than Rhino Charge, it travels much further across the screen. Also, the amplified version can lead to damage that is almost comparable to Rising Tomahawk from his normal hit confirms. I'll talk more about how to use Spirit Tracks in the strategy section of this video. Unfortunately, there isn't tons of combo potential in this variation, but saying that, we still get some respectable damage when we confirm into amplified Spirit Tracks. However, there are two things that we need to know before we start looking at the combos themselves. Forward 1-2 combos into Spirit Tracks, but it does not combo into the amplified version, so we can't use it on confirms for combos. The same goes for 1-1-1, which doesn't combo into either Spirit Tracks or the amplified version. However, 1-1-1 does combo into amplified Spirit Tracks, so at least we have a 7-frame punish that can lead to reasonable damage. Every other string combos into amplified Spirit Tracks as normal. After we have comboed into amplified Spirit Tracks, we use the same extending string with 3 potential knockdown enders. The main extending string is 3-1, so after amplified Spirit Tracks we do micro dash 3-1. After the micro dash 3-1, as I've said, we get 3 options. If you struggle with execution, you can cancel the 3-1 into Lightning Arrow, which is the least damage. For his max damage ender, after the 3-1, you would micro dash into 1-1-2, which will knock the opponent full screen and give you the most damage. Finally, we have the micro dash into 2-2-2 ender, which doesn't do as much damage as the 1-1-2 ender, but leaves the opponent closer to you to allow you to continue your mix-up game. In regards to corner combos, this is another area where Nightwolf loses some damage, but the combos themselves are fairly straightforward. From a jump 3 or 4, you do 3-1, 1-1, Lightning Arrow, which gives you around 300 damage and a knockdown. However, if you confirm into amplified Spirit Tracks in the corner, it actually pops you up higher than a jump 3 or 4, which allows you to do 2 3-1 extenders into Lightning Arrow for more damage. The main area that Nightwolf's combos struggle in this variation is from crushing blows, as he now only has 2 from strings or special moves. 3-1-2 thankfully allows us to use the same combo route as a normal hit confirm. However, down 2 crushing blow only links into 1-1-1 lightning arrow. At 330 damage it's fairly respectable and doesn't require much execution, but it definitely isn't the same levels as the Motoko variation. In regards to confirming into Fatal Blow, again, unfortunately there aren't many strings as combo extenders that can combo into Fatal Blow mid-screen, but it is really easy to confirm into straight from amplified Spirit Tracks, which does pretty decent damage. You can play the Shaman variation in 2 very different yet distinct ways, and you are able to utilize both extremely effectively mid-match depending on how you want to play. As we have said, Lightning Arrow is an amazing projectile, so if you want to stay back and shoot lightning arrows all day, you can, which in turn can frustrate your opponent into making a mistake as well as being super effective, especially against certain characters like Shao Kahn or Jax that struggle to get in. However, be careful if you overuse it, as it is super unsafe on block from most ranges and is extremely slow to recover. This also makes it extremely vulnerable against characters with teleports, as if you whiff, you're going to eat big damage. The other way you can play this variation of Nightwolf is actually as a mix-up character. As we have said before, Nightwolf's main variations in this string are 1-1-1 and the overhead string of forward 2-1. Nightwolf also has another string, which is 1-1-2, which ends in an overhead. This is where your low special move starts to become an extremely powerful tool. As you can special cancel at any parts of these strings, and Spirit Tracks is a true low, you can cancel into it from block from any attack that forces your opponent to block high. For example, forward 2 is an overhead, so you have to block it high, and the next parts of the strings are mids, so usually they will continue to stand block. However, as you can cancel into Spirit Tracks at any time, as soon as you see them high blocking, you can cancel into the roll and get damage and a knockdown. The same works with Nightwolf's 1-1-2, as the last hit forces someone to stand, you can cancel into 1-1 Spirit Tracks in the same way. This also works off blocked 1 and 1-1-1 as well. Even though Spirit Tracks is -12, it can be quite tricky for the opponent to punish if they aren't ready for it, as it has quite a lot of block stun. However, I wouldn't overuse it, as it means your opponent will eventually get used to it and definitely start to punish you. This is where the rest of the mix-ups come in. Nightwolf has an extremely strong throw game, as he has crushing blows of both of his throws. So this is where you start to mix up your options, especially from your 1-1-1 string, which we've mentioned as a strong auto shimmy. Start to mix in throws, and you'll start to see that 1-1-1 starts to hit people more as they are expecting a throw, which means after 1-1 you can combo into Spirit Tracks for a more damaging combo. Mix up these options, especially in the corner where you get even more damage, and you'll see your opponent's life start to melt away. His last mix-up tool is actually the Lightning Arrow cancel. Even though it's quite minus on block, if you start to mix up cancelling into the arrows from block strings, you can mix up your opponent with even more throws and make them terrified to press buttons. At a glance, Nightwolf's Shaman variation seemed to lack a lot of the tools that make him a scary character to deal with in his other variation, like the Tomahawk launcher, command grab, or super fast reversal. However, on closer inspection, the tools that he does get in this variation allow him to focus on 2 areas that he doesn't excel at in the other variations: strong zoning and fast mix-ups. Just be careful not to overuse them or become too predictable, because he can definitely get punished big time. Still, this is a super fun variation, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is interested in learning Nightwolf as a main character.